Hey guys, I know this video is coming a little late, but I finally hit 5K and I wanted to thank you guys so much for all the support and for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. I started this channel just for fun and to document my travels around the world, but when I saw that I was actually helping people and you guys were actually liking my videos and I received so much kind feedback, it was very encouraging to keep going. Anyways, I've been receiving a lot of questions from you guys and I've been noticing some of the same questions reappearing over and over again, so I finally decided to do a Q&A so you guys can get to know me better and I'll hopefully answer some of your questions once and for all. Most of these questions aren't from any specific person, they're just questions I get asked a lot, so I decided it would be really nice to make this video just so I don't have to explain it all the time. This is kind of my first time filming something like this. It is going to be kind of casual, and if you get bored, feel free to skip ahead. I have a table of contents listed down below in the description, or if this video isn't for you, feel free to go ahead and watch one of my adventurous travel videos, which you can find anywhere on my channel. This one has always been a kind of tricky question for me. In order to properly answer you guys, I have to tell you my whole life story, and that story is pretty long. I usually just say I'm from Seattle, Washington, where I was born and where most of my relatives live, or I say I'm from San Diego, California, where I spent 5 years living and going to university at. However, when people start asking me what high school I went to or how it was growing up there, then I don't really know what to say. Once I was born, my parents moved us to Bangkok, Thailand, and from then on, I spent most of my life living in various places around Asia. I've lived in Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, a few years in Hawaii, and then I spent all 4 years of high school in China. After I graduated high school, I moved back to America to San Diego, California, and I spent 5 years going to university there. At the time, I thought it was paradise. It was the perfect place to live, and I loved it. However, after I graduated college, I still felt something was missing, and I ended up moving back to Asia, specifically to Vietnam, where I decided to teach English there. And that is also when I started my YouTube channel. So my boyfriend and I knew that we wanted to live abroad again, and specifically in Asia because it is very affordable to travel and to live there. However, we weren't exactly sure where in Asia we wanted to live. We did spend some time in Bangkok, Thailand. We spent a semester there, did a little study abroad, and we had the best time of our lives. It was amazing and we loved Thailand, but we weren't sure if we wanted to live in a very large city again, and we weren't sure about the teaching opportunities there. At the time, my parents were traveling around Vietnam. They were actually visiting some of our relatives there. Yes, I am part Vietnamese, but I will get into that in the next question. Anyways, Jake and I looked into living in Vietnam, and we decided that it would be a good fit for us. I've always wanted to learn more about my culture and meet some of my relatives, and Vietnam is such a beautiful place to travel around. We decided to live down south in Saigon because that's where my relatives live, and some other reasons we decided to live there is because the city actually isn't as big as Bangkok. It's not as spread out, so it's not as difficult getting to one section to the other. The teaching opportunities are actually pretty good there for some reason, and the cost of living is a little cheaper than some of the other countries in Asia. Unfortunately, we are not living there anymore. We spent 7 months there and we had a wonderful time. Even though I'm not living there anymore, I still have a bunch of knowledge that I gathered from living as an expat over there that I would love to share with you guys later on. So, I get this question a lot, and I usually like to make people guess because it's kind of interesting to see what people will say. However, I'm just going to tell you guys now, I am half Asian, half white or Caucasian. My father is English, Irish, and Scottish, and my mother is Vietnamese, a little bit of Indian, and a little bit of Chinese. Now, I usually just say she is Vietnamese because she was born in Vietnam, she speaks Vietnamese, all of her relatives speak Vietnamese, she has a Vietnamese name. She left Vietnam when she was 9 during the war, and she actually has a pretty interesting story about how her family escaped, which I might make a video on if you guys are interested. Most of you guys know this already, but I was actually an online English teacher to students in China. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to do that. I originally wanted to work at a local Vietnamese school and interact with local students. However, The pay wasn't as high as I originally wanted, mostly because I don't have a teaching certificate or a TOEFL, and the commute would be kind of crazy for me. But I'm really glad I found this job online because it was really fun, super convenient, and the pay was actually pretty decent. I actually made a whole video on what I do and how to get a job like mine. If you're interested, I will link that down below. Hi, Baxter. This is my brother's dog, Baxter. Baxter, say hi. Baxter. Most of you guys know this already because I list all of the gear that I use in my description with links to each of the items just in case you guys want to purchase those. But I film all of my videos on my little iPhone SE, which is an iPhone 6 but in the size of an iPhone 5. So it's really compact and nice and small. Mostly all the videos on my channel so far are filmed on my little iPhone SE, with the exception of some underwater shots that is filmed on my GoPro Hero 5. I also picked up a gimbal for my phone. It is the Zhiyun Smooth Q. Very affordable, and it made a huge difference because this little phone has like zero stabilization and it makes all your videos look super cinematic and super nice. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from my videos that I posted on my channel so far, so that just goes to show that you don't need some fancy camera to get started. You can get by with just your phone. However, I recently upgraded my camera just because I was getting more into video making and I wanted something with a little bit more capabilities than my little iPhone. So I got the Canon G7X Mark II, which I am in love with. It is amazing, so convenient, and is great in low light, which is something that the iPhone really lacked. I could see nothing with low light on my iPhone, but the Canon does a wonderful job. I also ended up getting a drone. I got the DJI Spark, which is the cheaper version, but it does everything that I need it to. I was initially afraid that I was going to crash it first try, but it's super easy to fly, and I end up getting some really interesting perspectives for my video. If you guys are interested in seeing some of my drone footage, I made a Bali from above drone video that you can check out. I'll link it down below also. I actually haven't posted anything with this Canon camera yet because I've been so backlogged, but you should start to see some of those videos soon when I start posting about the 2 months that I spent in Bali, Indonesia. I just received a wonderfully homemade margarita from my brother. Look how cute this glass is! Back to question number 6. So this one is going to be really difficult for me just because I've been to so many places that I absolutely love. Each place, I believe, is different and unique in their own way and has something special about them. So I definitely cannot name them all. It might be actually easier to name the places I didn't like, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to name a few places that I can think of off the top of my head right now. One of the places I most recently visited was Nusa Penida, just off the coast of Bali, Indonesia, and it is spectacular. Some of the most beautiful views I've ever seen, cliffs, blue water. I even got a chance to swim with manta rays, which was just a magical experience. Another place I really liked was Ha Long Bay in Vietnam. I know that's like the most popular place in Vietnam, but it's popular for a reason. The rocks and the cliffs and the fog and everything created a very like mystical atmosphere, and we really had a wonderful experience with Dragon Legend Cruise also. Coron in the Philippines is probably the most beautiful island I've ever been to. The best snorkeling I've ever done, although Koh Lipe in Thailand is a close second. I really loved visiting Egypt. The history there is just insane. And I never knew this before, but I actually really enjoy Egyptian food. Like, I'm obsessed with Egyptian food. Pretty much anywhere in Norway is amazing. The nature is so beautiful. And fun fact, my family actually lives in Oslo, Norway, so I've gotten to go to Norway to visit them at least several times. We went on a bunch of fun adventures and had a great time there. And last one right now, I will mention the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. The nature there is also stunning. I loved being up in the mountains with the snow, even though it was summertime. There were glaciers, there were fields, there were animals. It was just an all-round amazing experience. Now this list goes on and on and on, and I'm sure I forgot to mention many different places, so I apologize if I forgot to mention one of the places that you liked. Also, I have a list of places that I would love to visit one day, and if you guys have any suggestions for me, I would really like to hear them. Okay, I'm going to end the questions right here. I know I may have not have answered every question you guys might have, but I don't want this video to get too long. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will always reply. And I don't know, maybe if I get enough questions, I might make another Q&A video if you guys like this. Now I wanted to give you guys just a quick little update on my life right now and the future of the channel. As some of you might know, I am no longer living in Asia anymore. I moved back to Seattle, Washington, where I am finally actually really living here for once in my life. I still have a lot of videos that I would love to share with you guys about my travels in Asia. After I left Vietnam, I spent 2 months in Bali, and I have many videos that I am going to post very, very soon. But in the meantime, I am super excited to be living in Washington. It is such a beautiful place to live, and Canada is actually right next door. There's so much nature to explore, so you can expect to see some videos of me adventuring around here as well. I just want to thank everyone again for helping me reach 5K subscribers. This is crazy to me, and I'm insanely happy. All of your support really encourages me to keep on making more videos, and I really, really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. I make videos about my adventures around the world, as well as my life living over in Asia. Baxter, sit. Good boy.